The seeds of the First World War were sown in the decades leading up to 1914. Europe, a cauldron of ancient rivalries and burgeoning nationalism, was primed for conflict. The great powers, entangled in a complex web of alliances, viewed each other with suspicion and distrust. Germany, newly unified and hungry for recognition, sought its place in the sun. France, still smarting from its defeat in the Franco-Prussian War, harbored a deep desire for revenge. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand by a Serbian nationalist in Sarajevo on June 28, 1914, provided the spark that ignited the tinderbox of Europe. Austria-Hungary, backed by Germany, issued Serbia an ultimatum designed to be rejected, setting in motion the chain of events that would plunge the world into war. The system of alliances intended to prevent war instead acted as a deadly tripwire. Austria-Hungary's declaration of war on Serbia on July 28, 1914, triggered a cascade of commitments. Russia, bound by treaty to protect Serbia, mobilized its troops. Germany, obligated to defend Austria-Hungary, declared war on Russia on August 1st and on France 2 days later. Germany's strategy, the Schlieffen Plan, aimed for a swift knockout blow against France by violating Belgian neutrality. This act brought Great Britain into the war on August 4th, fulfilling its pledge to defend Belgium's neutrality. The first battles shattered any illusions of a quick victory. The Battle of Marne in September 1914, a costly Allied victory, forced Germany to abandon its plans for a quick victory in the West. The First World War was a conflict unlike any other, characterized by its global scale and unprecedented brutality. Trench warfare, a defining feature of the Western Front, resulted in a bloody stalemate. The Battle of Verdun, fought between February and December 1916, epitomized the futility of this new kind of warfare. Both sides suffered hundreds of thousands of casualties for minimal territorial gains. The Battle of the Somme, launched by the British in July 1916, was intended to relieve pressure on Verdun. Despite massive artillery bombardments and heavy casualties, the offensive achieved limited success. New technologies such as machine guns, poison gas, and tanks transformed the battlefield and contributed to the unprecedented levels of carnage. Section 4. The guns fall silent, the end of the war and its aftermath. The entry of the United States into the war in April 1917 tipped the balance in favor of the Allies. American troops, fresh and well-equipped, provided a much-needed boost to the war-weary Allied forces. Germany, facing internal unrest and dwindling resources, launched a final, desperate offensive in the spring of 1918. The offensive initially gained ground but ultimately failed. By the fall of 1918, the Central Powers were collapsing on all fronts. Facing defeat and revolution at home, Germany signed the Armistice of Compiègne on November 11, 1918, bringing the war to an end. The Treaty of Versailles, the most important of the peace treaties, formally ended the war with Germany, but imposed harsh terms on the defeated nation. Section 5. The Profound Legacy. Exploring the lasting impact of World War I. The end of the war had a profound and lasting impact on the world. The war resulted in an estimated 40 million casualties, including both military personnel and civilians. The Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, Russian, and German empires all collapsed, replaced by new nations and ideologies. The Treaty of Versailles, while intended to prevent future wars, sowed the seeds of resentment and instability that contributed to the outbreak of World War II just 2 decades later. Its legacy continues to shape the world today, a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict and the importance of diplomacy and understanding in international relations.